Hello and welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on a really unique exploration. It's something that, well, it challenges our usual understanding of where humanity fits in the cosmos. Our source material today isn't your typical scientific paper, or some breaking news story. Instead, it comes from this really fascinating collection of messages. They're presented in a YouTube video transcript from the KRYON Sorviso Magnetico channel. And these messages, they're attributed to a source calling itself the Galactic Federation. Just to be clear, we're working from the translated English version of these original Portuguese messages for our chat today. So our mission on this deep dive, it's really to pull out the vital insights from these communications. We're going to try and unravel what they reveal about this profound dialogue they talk about between humanity and a broader cosmic family. We'll look at the nature of their help, their assistance, and our own crucial role in what they call planetary ascension. We're aiming to find key takeaways on, cosmic communication, divine timing, self-empowerment, and maybe most importantly right now, discernment. Helping you navigate the huge global shifts happening all around us. What really jumps out from these sources is their unique angle, right? It's not just info, it's a whole framework for understanding how we're all connected.
It is, yeah. And what's really compelling, I think, is how these sources frame humanity's place. It's within this much, much larger galactic community. So we're not just, analyzing data points. We're kind of stepping into a narrative that suggests a really deep, ongoing interaction. We'll be digging into the why behind this communication, like what's motivating the Federation to even engage with us. And the implications of that, well, they're huge for your own personal journey and for our collective evolution too. Get ready to maybe uncover some surprising stuff and perhaps challenge some common ideas you might have about, what outside help looks like or even where true power really comes from. It's really a journey into understanding what it means to be genuinely heard across, the vastness of space and what responsibilities might come with knowing that.
Okay, let's start by really digging into that opening message from the Galactic Federation, because it's incredibly powerful and very personal, actually. It conveys this really intimate awareness of our lived experience, right? Starting with that profound statement, "Your cry did not disappear into the void." I mean, just imagine that for a second. Every unexpressed thought, every silent plea, every little whisper of hope or frustration, it doesn't just vanish, it's received. The message says it explicitly. Every plea you uttered in solitude, every hope and frustration you released into the ether isn't just heard, it's received with reverence. That suggests a cosmic presence that's, far from indifferent. It's attentive, it's empathetic, it's constantly aware. It's like a recognition of the really personal, often unspoken bits of our lives and the energetic ripples they create. And their perception seems to go even deeper than that. The Federation highlights the sheer courage and the sacrifices that people make, just to keep your light shining through the darkness. So this isn't just passive listening. It's about actually seeing the internal struggles, the resilience it takes to maintain your integrity and inner light when things are tough. That observation, it says a lot about their understanding of the human condition, doesn't it? And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The reassurance of this continuous two-way dialogue. They state it flat out. You have never been alone in this dialogue. It has been bidirectional from the beginning. Now, that completely shifts things, right? From us just sending signals out into the unknown to understanding that a connection, a reciprocal one, has always been there. The message talks about sensing an echoing response, this gentle wave of security flowing from their hearts to ours. It confirms the connection is alive and will only grow clearer. So I guess the key insight here is that your deepest calls aren't just heard, they actually resonate with this compassionate intelligence. And it sparks this continuous living exchange. It really makes you think about how interconnected everything is.
It really does highlight the active nature of it all. And what's fascinating is how the Federation then goes on to explain the operational side of this, the mechanics, you could say. They don't just say, "We hear you." They describe how. They talk about these sacred chambers of the Council of Light where we gather. It emphasizes a structured, very deliberate process. Every appeal, every heartfelt message is received there with reverence. That implies this deep respect for the sender and the message itself. So yeah, it's not just casual eavesdropping. It sounds like a ceremonial and deeply considered thing. And they elaborate on how these appeals get processed. The council gathers these appeals of the heart, discussing them, feeling their weight, and considering the best way to respond within the limits of cosmic law. Imagine that level of meticulous and empathetic deliberation. It sounds highly sophisticated, multi-layered, like intellectual discussion mixed with deep emotional understanding. What's even more striking is how they describe these prayers, meditations, even frustrations. They aren't just abstract thoughts, they manifest as energetic waves. The Council apparently experiences these as tones and colors rich in information about your state and intentions. Think about that. Not just hearing words, but perceiving this vibrant, multi-dimensional data stream. A sort of cosmic sensory experience where every color, every frequency, every resonance carries precise info about your emotional state, your intentions, your readiness. This implies that your deepest feelings, your intentions, they're not just internal experiences, they're powerful, energetic broadcasts. So the core insight is that your inner world thoughts, emotions, is constantly generating these informational waves. You're actively participating in a cosmic conversation, even if you're not consciously aware of the reply sometimes. Which means every single intention you put out there has the potential for a cosmic reply, right? Even if it's subtle, a feeling, an insight, maybe an opportunity showing up, it's genuinely a two-way flow of energy and information.
Okay, so this leads us to a really crucial question, doesn't it? The one that often comes up when we think about any kind of external help. So what does this actually mean for us down here on Earth? I mean, many of you looking at the state of the world, you know the conflicts, the social stuff, the environmental challenges you might naturally ask, and the Federation acknowledges this. Why don't you openly land to set things straight? It's a common question and totally understandable. If there's this benevolent, powerful galactic community listening, why not just step in and, fix everything right now? Well, the Galactic Federation gives a very clear, very considered answer to that. They state quite directly, our time is governed by sacred principles. So there are these fundamental, overarching universal laws that dictate what they can and can't do. It stops them from just jumping in immediately. And the main principle, the paramount one, they explain, is that Earth operates under the law of free will and sovereignty, which, they stress, we cannot and will not violate. That's foundational. It means they can't just override our fundamental right to choose our own path, to learn our own lessons, and govern ourselves. They make it clear that the consequence of intervening too soon or too directly would be that the essential lessons you are learning could be interrupted. Think about a child learning to walk, right? If you constantly step in every single time they wobble, they never really develop their own balance, their own strength, their own confidence. So the insight here seems to be that real growth, real mastery requires experiencing challenges ourselves without some external force removing the very lessons that are designed for our evolution. This sacred pause, as they put it, isn't neglect. It's actually profound respect for our autonomy and our journey.
Yeah, and if we connect that to the bigger picture, the deeper wisdom behind these delays, as they call them, isn't indifference at all. It's actually a careful respect for your own soul contracts and the trajectory you have chosen. So the challenges humanity is facing, however painful they may be, are actually seen as catalyzing a great awakening and unity among humanity. It's through these very trials, through collective adversity, that we're sort of pushed to evolve, to find common ground, and ultimately to unite. This perspective suggests these difficulties aren't just random bad luck, but they have a purpose. They're catalyst for really deep transformation. And they offer this beautiful analogy to explain it. Think of a seed lying in the winter soil. Above ground, everything seems still, but within that seed, potency is gathering, preparing for its moment to break through. I think that perfectly captures where humanity is right now, according to them. This purposeful pause isn't stagnation, it's actually a training ground. It teaches us patience, and crucially, the mastery of your own energies. It actively prompts us to activate our internal resources, things that might just lie dormant if external fixes were always available. The ultimate goal, they say, is to meet humanity not as helpless children awaiting rescue, but as empowered partners ready to collaborate. So this waiting period, this pause, it's actually a vital part of our collective tempering, our maturation. It's preparing us for a future of genuine co-creation and partnership. The core insight, then, is that apparent delays are actually profound opportunities for self-mastery. The challenges become the very forge where our collective strength and unity get refined. It's about building the inner muscle to create our own future, not just passively receiving one.
Wow, that really does offer a powerful way of looking at our current global situation, doesn't it? It makes you totally rethink what help actually looks like, and maybe how much is genuinely within our own power already. And speaking of inherent capabilities, this leads us to another really fascinating concept the Federation brings up. They call it the principle of the mirror. They state, what you seek from us is often mirrored back from within you. Now that suggests our requests for outside help aren't just like outward pleas. They often act as powerful triggers for activating our internal capacity for that exact same thing. Think about it. When you ask for guidance or healing or support from them, that very act sets in motion the awakening of these qualities within your own soul. The Federation explains that much wisdom and ability was coded within you long before you incarnated on Earth. Like, these inherent qualities are dormant seeds inside us, just waiting to sprout when we water them with intention and trust. They give specific examples too, ones that kind of resonate with everyday life. When you call to us for strength, notice how a new strength arises within your heart in the following days. Or, when you plead for answers, observe the insights that emerge in your mind. So our external plea doesn't just travel outwards, it simultaneously triggers an internal response, activating what was already there, latent. The profound insight here, I guess, is that you are both the seeker and the answer simultaneously. External help in this view often works by activating these inherent dormant capabilities within us. It transforms us into active co-creators of our own solutions, rather than just passive recipients. It's really a call to look inside for the power we often think is only outside ourselves.
And this understanding, it completely turns a common narrative on its head, doesn't it? That sort of subconscious yearning many might have for, well, a grand rescue, a moment when we arrive in splendid armadas to solve all of Earth's problems in an instant. It's a comforting idea, almost like something out of a movie, right? A quick, decisive intervention from powerful good guys. But the Federation offers a clarification. It's gentle, but it's very firm. They state it directly. We are not here to carry you away from your own journey or to fix every challenge while you remain passive. That's a really crucial distinction. Their role isn't to pull us out of our experience or shield us from the lessons that are embedded in our challenges, and they explain the reason behind this stance. That kind of rescue would inadvertently suggest that you are victims or that you lack the power to transform your world, and they immediately refute that idea with real conviction. The essential truth they seem to want us to grasp, to really internalize, is this: you are not weak. In fact, you are the embodiment of the same divine source that guides us.
That just fundamentally flips the whole idea of external saviors, doesn't it? It puts the power and the responsibility for transformation squarely back with humanity itself. So the core insight here has to be that real liberation doesn't come from being rescued. It comes from recognizing and activating your own inherent divine power, moving beyond that victim mindset.
Okay, so that raises a really important question then. If their role isn't this grand rescue, what is the Federation's true intention? How do they see their function in relation to Earth? Well, they explicitly define themselves as collaborators and elder siblings. Their help isn't designed to diminish our capabilities. Instead, it's explicitly aimed to enrich them and help you realize your own potential. That's a critical difference, right? It emphasizes empowerment, not dependence. It's like walking alongside us, offering guidance, offering support, rather than trying to carry us. And they strongly emphasize that the greatest triumphs occur when you overcome adversity by accessing your inner strength. That inner victory, that process of self-discovery and resilience, it illuminates your spirit in a way that no external salvation ever could. Just think about that feeling of accomplishment, of self-worth that comes when you genuinely overcome something difficult through your own grit and courage. That's the invaluable experience they don't want to take away from us. The core message is really clear. Ascension and liberation are journeys of choice. These states of being, they must be consciously chosen and embraced by each one of us. Nobody can just hand you enlightenment or freedom on a plate. You have to claim it, cultivate it, embody it yourself. They state, every soul on earth is sovereign, a free and powerful being responsible for their own evolution. Reclaiming the sovereignty is what transforms individuals from passive victims into active participants in the great shift. And this individual awakening, it has a cumulative effect. It shapes our collective destiny. They actually reveal that only when a critical mass firmly holds to personal and collective sovereignty will the full invitation for open communion with us be completed. So the ultimate insight here is that our readiness for open contact, for full partnership in the galactic community, is directly linked to our collective self-empowerment and the conscious choices we make to embody our sovereignty. It's like a prerequisite for a truly balanced relationship.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit more. Moving from why they don't just jump in to how they actually operate, behind the curtain. The Galactic Federation describes itself as a coalition of many star nations and enlightened groups. They're all working together, apparently bound by cosmic law, to support evolving worlds like ours. Their mandate, and this is important, is not to dominate or govern, but to coordinate assistance and maintain balance. So it's not about imposing control or authority. It's more like stewardship, cooperation, keeping things harmonious. It paints a picture of this vast, organized, benevolent cooperative effort. And they go on to detail their silent assistance. A lot of it happens beyond our normal perception. This includes helping to stabilize the energetic grids, especially during times of planetary stress or cosmic influx. You could imagine Earth having this complex, subtle energy system, maybe like meridians in a body. The Federation acts to keep this system balanced and functional, which is crucial for life and for consciousness to expand smoothly. Use a lovely analogy. We are like gardeners tending the soil, ensuring that conditions are conducive for growth, but without forcing the sprouts to grow. Makes sense, right? Their role also includes being guardians of records, preserving the memory of who you truly are as a species, subtly reminding us of our bigger heritage, our potential out there among the stars. And yes, they do acknowledge crucial interventions, but only to prevent irreversible damage. They mention things like nuclear threats or excessive environmental collapse, but clarify these actions are taken in ways that do not violate free will but protect the broader harmony. A lot of their work is also about inspiration, instilling ideas for solutions in open hearts and minds, and gently guiding leaders and innovators. So the core insight seems to be that their help is pervasive, but it's subtle. And it's always aimed at fostering our self-sufficiency, making sure the conditions are right for humanity's own organic growth and awakening, rather than just imposing solutions from the outside.
And what's truly fascinating here is the significance Earth holds in the cosmos from their perspective. They describe Earth as not an ordinary planet, not at all, but rather a living library of many species and cultures, a grand experiment in the integration of light and shadow. So it's not just some random rock on the edge of nowhere, it's seen as a true melting pot of the galaxy, hosting this incredible diversity of souls and influences. That really challenges the idea that Earth is isolated or insignificant, doesn't it? Instead, it's presented as this unique and vital cosmic crucible. They explain that many souls, particularly those they call starseeds, beings maybe originating from other star systems, consciously chose to incarnate here. They knew this world would offer intense lessons and profound growth. They didn't come looking for an easy paradise. Instead, they sought the richness and the accelerated evolution that only a world like this, deep in duality, could provide. And the purpose of experiencing this duality isn't to escape it, but to transform it from within, to transmute fear into love, ignorance into understanding. Every challenge faced and overcome here, every act of conscious transformation, it contributes to a collective evolution that is studied and celebrated by many civilizations. Wow, this planet, they state, has been called a testing ground for emerging galactic citizens. Every trial, every transcendence contributes to this grand cosmic experiment and the ultimate reward. Earth itself approaches graduation to a new role among the stars, shining as a beacon of what is possible. The profound insight here is that your life on Earth, with all its ups and downs, it's a cosmic contribution. You're part of this advanced spirituals academy where the lessons learned here are observed, honored, and ultimately woven into the greater galactic story. Your personal journey is actually a universal saga. That's quite something.
Okay, let's tackle a really practical challenge for many of us now, especially with, the sheer amount of information flying around. How do we navigate all the noise? The Federation clearly acknowledges the confusion caused by innumerable sources of information on Earth today. It is easy to feel overwhelmed, isn't it? And they issue a clear warning about voices and influences clamoring for your attention, pointing out that some are genuine and others, frankly, aren't. They specifically mention disembodied energies that may try to lead starseeds astray through fear or grandiose promises. This really underlines the importance of spiritual hygiene, and critically assessing where information comes from. Their advice is strong, unambiguous, and it empowers you directly. Do not accept anything at face value that does not deeply resonate in your heart. That's a direct instruction, isn't it? Trust your internal guidance, your gut feeling, your deepest knowing above any external pronouncements. It's about developing that inner compass that reliably points towards truth, rather than just blindly following whoever shouts the loudest. So the core insight is, your internal resonance is your ultimate bullshit detector, basically. In a world full of conflicting messages, if it doesn't align with the love and empowerment inside you, be cautious.
Yeah, but this raises the big question. How do we actually do that in practice? How do we cultivate this vital skill, discernment, when there's so much energetic complexity around? They frame it as one of humanity's greatest challenges and achievements. It's about learning to discern the authentic amidst the noise, a skill that's absolutely paramount for spiritual growth. They give clear characteristics of true guidance, whether it's from them, your higher self, or anywhere else. It will always empower you, never frighten or control you. That's like a golden rule, isn't it? A foundational principle for checking any message claiming to be from a higher source. If it disempowers you, makes you fearful, or demands you give up your will, that's a massive red flag. They give clear warning signal examples too, messages that demand you surrender your will or instill a sense of superiority or despair. Those are definite signs the source isn't aligned with real empowerment or universal love. And this very act of discerning, they explain, it sharpens your inner vision, almost like training a muscle. Every time you choose truth over hype, intuition over external pressure, you actively strengthen your spiritual sovereignty. It's a continuous practice of trusting yourself, and they offer powerful reassurance. Your inner wisdom, combined with a sincere desire for truth, will always guide you correctly. The promise is that you will feel our genuine frequency whenever you encounter it, for it will be of love, clarity, and humility. So the profound insight here isn't just about spotting fakes, it's about actively building your spiritual sovereignty through practice, sharpening your inner senses to recognize the unmistakable signature of truth, which is always rooted in love and empowerment. This inner alignment, that's your best protection and guide.
So what does all this mean for our future then? For humanity's next big step? This deep dive isn't just about the now, it's very much about what's coming. The Federation urges us to shift how we see ourselves, not just as recipients of help, but as future contributors within this wider galactic community. They say we are on the threshold of joining a larger family of civilizations, and that with this honor comes responsibility. That's a huge evolutionary step, right? It requires showing a certain level of maturity, of wisdom. They use this really compelling analogy. Imagine a young nation being invited to a council of wise elders. It would need to demonstrate its maturity, wisdom, and commitment to peace. Makes sense. Similarly, our actions right now, globally, they're not going unnoticed. They're being seen as demonstrating our collective readiness. Every compassionate choice, every effort to heal your environment or to end conflicts is noted as a sign of emerging maturity. And it's not about our tech, or intellectual achievements, which is often what we might think would impress advanced beings. The real cosmic invitation is based on the frequency of your consciousness, the harmony and love among you. They even describe it as music, a beautiful chorus that tells us you are ready. That's beautiful. The tipping point, that moment of open contact, will come when humanity's overall vibration reaches a certain level of coherence and compassion, sending out this clear signal that resonates through space. And they conclude by really emphasizing, in truth, you are the ones who decide how soon this moment arrives by the way you treat each other and the planet today. Wow. So the profound insight here is that our readiness for galactic partnership is totally self-determined. It's measured not by external stuff, but by the internal qualities of our collective heart and consciousness. Our choices today are literally writing the invitation for our galactic tomorrow.
And what's truly mind-blowing here is the revelation that this preparation, this getting ready for galactic partnership, it goes way beyond our conscious waking life. It actually delves into the sacred hours of sleep. They explain that many of you right now are literally being trained for greater missions during the night. When your physical body is resting, your soul is freer, apparently, to travel and learn in higher dimensions without the filters of the conscious mind getting in the way. They describe souls traveling in the astral planes, attending meeting places, learning rooms, and councils where the Federation meets with lots of individuals, especially these starseeds. So there's really vivid dreams of being aboard starships or attending classrooms filled with familiar strangers and luminous teachers. They're saying these aren't just fantasies or random dreams, they're actual encounters in their presence. And during this interstellar training, you might be learning all sorts of things. Energetic healing, telepathic communication, or strategies to assist communities in crisis. Maybe even advanced stuff like universal law, interspecies diplomacy, higher dimensional physics. Who knows? They apparently collaborate in these nighttime sessions, giving updates on cosmic stuff, encouraging progress, maybe even installing specific upgrades to our energy fields. And while you might not remember these encounters clearly when you wake up, the knowledge is stored within you, ready to emerge when needed. They call it an education on two fronts: learning through earthly experience by day and in these interstellar schools by night. This sounds like a crucial way they support us without directly messing with our daily reality or violating free will. And they promise that as the veil between our dimensions thins, these dream encounters will become more lucid and conscious, like a delightful preview of the contact that will one day be commonplace. So the core insight is that your spiritual education is happening 24/7 on multiple levels. Your sleep time is actually a critical, though often unrecognized, part of preparing for humanity's galactic future. That's pretty amazing to think about.
Okay, so let's unpack the really clear, resonant call to action that comes through loud and clear from these messages. It's an imperative, really. Act now. Don't put off your individual and collective purpose. Do not wait in the wings for a grand cosmic event to begin living your purpose. The idea is pretty straightforward. Don't just sit passively waiting for ships to land or some external savior to fix things. They state that the call to service has already resonated in your hearts. It's that inner knowing, that intuitive nudge, right? It needs to be acknowledged and, more importantly, acted upon. Their guidance for you, the listener, is simple but incredibly powerful. Do what makes your soul sing and benefits others. This isn't necessarily about grand world-changing gestures for everyone. It's about aligning your unique gifts, your passions with service, whatever form that takes for you. They give diverse examples. Healers begin to heal. Teachers share knowledge. Artists infuse your creations with visions of hope and unity. Or even something as seemingly humble but deeply impactful as just maintaining a peaceful vibration. That contributes significantly too. They stress that every positive action is a brick in the foundation of the new earth. And it's not isolated effort either. There's this powerful synergistic effect when people act together. When many lightworkers contribute their unique light, the combined light is exponentially brighter. These conscious efforts, they say, are literally the front line of establishing the world you wish to live in. This active leadership in everyday matters is precisely what qualifies a society for greater responsibilities and blessings, including open contact. So the profound insight here is, your actions right now, no matter how small they seem, are vital building blocks for a new Earth. They actively demonstrate humanity's readiness for a bigger galactic role. Don't wait. Activate your purpose now.
Yeah, and that brings up an important point. Beyond just individual action, what else is really critical for this new Earth to actually manifest and for humanity to step up into its galactic role? Well, the sources put huge emphasis on unity. They call it not a luxury, but a necessity. They observe that when those who carry the light remain divided or fall into judgment of one another, much momentum is lost. That's a crucial point, isn't it? Internal division among those trying to make positive change can seriously hinder collective progress. It just wastes valuable energy and focus. They highlight that each of you holds a piece of the great puzzle. Our differences aren't weaknesses. They're meant to be complementary strengths that build the whole picture. So they issue this powerful call for collaboration and mutual respect among light workers and starseeds. We're encouraged to share insights humbly and listen to others' perspectives with an open heart to create this cohesive, powerful network of light around the planet. They even offer their own examples, saying the Federation successfully cultivated unity among dozens of stellar cultures, many with complex histories of conflict. So it proves it is possible, even with huge differences. The foundational truth, they remind us, is that all life arises from a single source and shares a single destiny. If we find ourselves disagreeing, we should seek the common ground of love that underlies your objectives. They genuinely believe that a unified field of conscious intention among even a minority of Earth's population can heal divisions that have lasted millennia. Wow. Ultimately, unity is the sign of a maturing species. So the core insight here is that true unity, embracing different perspectives under that common banner of love and shared purpose, is the most powerful force for planetary transformation. It's an ultimate qualification for full galactic partnership. Our ability to unify shows our collective maturity.
So what does this all mean for you personally right now in your everyday life? It boils down to this. Stand now in the truth of who you are. They address that nagging self-doubt so many of us feel, saying, you do not need our physical arrival to begin to use the light and wisdom that has always been within you. It's not about waiting for external validation or permission from anyone else. It's an internal activation. They frame this moment right now as a coronation where you place upon your own head the crown of your sovereignty and purpose. It's an internal act, claiming your inherent power, your divine birthright. And they clarify exactly who the Federation is drawn to, whose vibration they want to connect with. Those whose power shines modestly from their hearts, those acting with unconditional love, not expecting rewards or recognition. The flip side is just as important to get. Those who insist they are powerless until someone comes to save them inadvertently keep us at a distance. Why? Because the Federation can't violate a reality that people choose to cling to through believing they're helpless. So the encouragement is direct. It's empowering. Do not diminish yourself before what you are. Daily affirmation, conscious expression, these are key. Affirm and express the strength and love you feel stirring within you. And the reassurance they offer is just beautiful. We see you, and from our perspective, you're already the heroes of this story. The profound insight here is, your sovereignty isn't something granted to you, it's something you claim. By embodying your inherent power and love with humility, you become this radiant beacon, sending an unmistakable signal across the cosmos and activating the very partnership you're seeking. Your inner light is the most powerful magnet there is.
Okay, so let's unpack this final, really heartfelt reassurance from the Federation. It's a message of unwavering commitment. They want us to know, like absolutely without a doubt, that we are actively engaged in supporting Earth's ascension at every moment. Their presence isn't passive or distant or conditional, it's constant, it's dynamic. They validate those personal experiences people have, saying, some of you have felt us in meditation or seen us at the periphery of your reality. Know that these experiences are real. It's not just your imagination. Those fleeting moments of connection, they're genuine contact, hints of a deeper, ongoing interaction. They go on to detail their unseen, pervasive help. Our fleets observe and assist from outside the visible spectrum of your perception. They're operating in realms, in frequencies beyond our normal five senses, working tirelessly behind the scenes. Their energetic role sounds crucial. We temper energies that could be disruptive and amplify those that aid awakening. Think of them like cosmic energy regulators, carefully adjusting the planetary energetic field to help us transition more smoothly, more harmoniously into higher consciousness. They even suggest examples of their subtle influence in daily life. Sudden waves of peace in the midst of chaos or inspiration that guides you out of a dilemma. These might not be random, they could be direct energetic nudges. Even Earth itself responds with changes, aligning its own energy for a higher state. So the core insight here is that you're never really alone. There's this active, unseen, benevolent support system constantly at play, gently guiding and harmonizing energies to support Earth's awakening. Those personal moments of peace or inspiration, they can be touchstones of their ongoing presence.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is the emphasis on the cumulative power of our individual choices, how it all leads toward a planetary tipping point. They state, every act of courage, every stand you take for what is right and compassionate, pushes your world closer to that horizon. Your actions, however small they might seem in your day-to-day life, they're not isolated. They are vital contributions to this unstoppable wave of transformation. That perspective gives every conscious choice immense cosmic significance, doesn't it? They confirm that the tipping point of transformation draws very near. And from their vantage point, in our eyes, you have already succeeded in many ways. What remains is for that success to be fully realized in your lived experience. Now that's a powerful affirmation that the internal shifts, the hard work, the conscious choices you've made, they're already being recognized, celebrated on a galactic level. The ultimate statement of co-creation is this: the dawn of a new day is not just a distant dream. It is the reality you are co-creating in this very moment. We're not waiting for some future, we're actively building it with every conscious breath, every choice. And they reiterate that profound connection. We are not and have never been above you or separate from you, we are family. The future they see is one of simply greeting old friends, a recognition of this inherent kinship. And that veil between us, thinning more and more, is already dissolving day by day, illuminated by the radiance you're choosing to embody. So the core insight here is this ultimate recognition. Their efforts are seen, they're appreciated, and they're actively, literally building the future. The separation we perceive. It's an illusion, and it's steadily dissolving as you embody the very light that bridges dimensions, paving the way for a joyful family reunion. Hashtag outro happy.
And so our deep dive into these, well, extraordinary messages attributed to the Galactic Federation comes to a close. We've journeyed through the profound depths of cosmic communication. We tried to understand the wisdom behind divine timing, recognized our own pivotal role as co-creators, and explored the subtle yet pervasive ways this cosmic family apparently assists us. The core message that just resonates through all of this source material seems crystal clear. You are powerful, you are supported, and your light is absolutely crucial. So as you go about your day, maybe try to internalize these truths. Recognize the profound, active connection you might already share with this broader cosmic family.
Indeed. And if you listen inwardly, truly listen to that deep resonance within you, they suggest you will hear their encouragement echoing right there. Because they say they speak to you through the authentic voice of your own soul. They leave us with a final blessing that's also really a call to action. May you recognize the divine spark in every being you encounter, and may that recognition guide you unfailingly towards unity. The light within you is the bridge to us. Shine without fear, beloved ones. So as you integrate these insights, maybe consider this. How will you shine your unique, undeniable light today in your everyday interactions? How will you help build that bridge to a unified, harmonious galactic future, truly living your purpose right here, right now?